Alright, 5.9b, we are going to continue talking about solving systems by using substitution. And in our first two equations, I'm going to make my solve and subchart. So in my solved column, I have y by itself in my second equation. So that is what I have solved for. And then my second equation is what I'm going to plug that into. So I'm going to take this whole equation, whatever y equals, and I'm going to plug it in to y. When I do that, I get 4x plus 5. Now I got to plug this whole thing in for y. So this becomes 3x minus 13, and I still have a equals 11. Okay, now to simplify this, I need to distribute my 5 into those parentheses. So I get 5 times 3 is 15x. 5 times negative 13 gives me a negative 65. Now when I combine like terms, I get 4 plus 15 is 19x minus 65 equals 11. Add 65 to both sides. I get 19x equals 76. When I divide both sides by 19, I get x is equal to 4. Okay, now that I have my x, I need to take that x and plug it back into my equation so I can figure out what y is. So I want to take this 4, plug it in right up here, and that would give me 3 times my x is 4 minus 13 is equal to y. So then I get 3 times 4 is 12 minus 13 is a negative 1. So now I have my x and my y. My final solution is my ordered pair x comma y. Okay, and this next question, this should be number 2. We have d equals c as our first equation, so our variables are by themselves there. That is going to be my solved for side. And then the sub side on the other. So if d equals c, got d and c by themselves there. 3c plus d equals negative 8. So if d equals c, wherever I have a d, I'm going to take that c and plug it in right here. So I get 3c plus, instead of d, I'm going to write c equals a negative 8. Now 3c plus c gives me 4c. To get that c by itself, I need to divide both sides. So I get c is equal to negative 2. Then for d, I have c equals d. So if I plug in that negative 2 here, that gives me d equals a negative 2. So that makes my solution negative 2 comma negative 2. They're both the same number. Okay, let's look at one more example. Okay, my equation that is solved for by itself, I have m by itself in this one. So I'm going to put that one on this side. And then that puts my other equation in the substitution side. Okay, if m equals 1 minus 4n, I'm I'm going to take that and plug it in for my m. So now I'm going to have 2 times, I'm going to take that whole thing, plug it in for m, and then I still have plus 7n equals 3. Now when I solve this equation, I want to distribute my 2 into my parentheses, so I get 2 minus 8n plus 7n equals 3. 7n plus 8n gives me, or negative 8n plus 7n gives me a negative n, and I still have that positive 2. If I want to move my 2 to the other side, I need to subtract. I get negative n equals 1. Divide both sides by a negative, gives me n is equal to negative 1. Now I'm going to take that negative 1 and plug it back in to my equation to figure out what m equals. So when I do that, I get m equals 1 minus 4 times negative 1. So we have minus 4 times a negative 1, that gives me a positive 4. 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. So I have m equals 5 and n equals negative 1. And then my final solution, so since it's not x, y here, we're going to put them in alphabetical order. So it goes m, then n. My m is 5. My n is negative 1. That is my solution for these two equations.